What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the weekly members pod. We got a full cast here today, keeping JD and I company from last week. It was a great conversation, but we probably got a little tired of each other's face for after a while. So glad to see some our regulars are back here for the rotation. Um, I know that everybody's itching to talk about basketball, but we do need to give a little bit of love to some of the other sports. There are some other ones and some prevailing teams amongst those sports. Um, I do have some stuff for NBA that we didn't actually get to on the last pod, um, because of a rigged and poorly put together contest. Um, so let's talk about a little bit of baseball first. My team
Hey,
is
let's
the best, and
let's talk
everybody
about
else
baseball, Pat
is.
or Paul. Let's talk about baseball. How'd your team do last night?
Well, they were just enjoying the Seattle, the sights and sounds of Seattle. They were taking in that 51-inch hot dog they had to commemorate Randy Johnson, and decided that they take a holiday. But they'll be back. They'll be back at it tonight.
All right, okay.
Um, Braves Yankees in the World Series. But Captain Confidence, why don't you talk about your Mariners though?
Well, I mean, we can win three and then we can lose three and then we can win three and then we can lose three. So hopefully we're on the win three right now, because we took one from the Braves, which I will concede to you are the best team in baseball right now, followed by the Yankees. But yeah, no, I mean, Cal's back in rotation tonight after a couple of games out with soreness, but that's okay because Garver took behind the plate just like Cal. I have no problem switching out my catchers. They're both phenomenal. Like, pitching and catching is one thing my team is most definitely solid at, and I can never complain about that. But yeah, if we could just put together a string of more than 3 wins, I'd be super happy. About to have 6 starting pitchers in rotation, and I'm down for that, and I'm good with that. That's where we're sitting at.
Are you worried at all about how your team has looked so far this year versus how they ended last year?
No, because we're statistically slow starting. And again, like the baseball pod last year when we started at the All-Star break, I was like, my team sucks. And then there we were in the ALCS for the first time in 24 years. So different bats are putting it together earlier this year than in previous seasons. So there's a lot of potential moving forward. I mean, it is early. It is first week of May. So I'm excited to see what happens. Everything's really tight, minus, like I said, the Yankees and the Braves both being in the 20 plus win column. So yeah, we'll see. I don't think it's going to be a 120 win game or 120 win season for the Yankees, like somebody said. I hope to God not. I hope to God not. But sorry, JD.
Why? Because they'd
Um,
actually win if they had a 121 season, unlike the 0-1 Mariners.
116, and it was thanks to the Yankees, Patty. So
Damn.
you can take a long walk off of a very short pier after that.
Well, what happens, Christy, is you win 3 games, you lose 3 games. We lose 12 games, we win 1 game. Then we lose 6 games, and we win 1 game. And they're like, here's a little crumb, you beat the Colorado Rockies.
Ooh, that's
Come on back.
Yeah, did you only beat the Colorado Rockies 1 out of 3 games?
No, we got swept 2 weeks ago, and then we beat them yesterday for the first time. So.
And they just couldn't handle it, and we're like, you know what, snow gods, we need a break here.
This is just the New York gods smiting the Mets for the Knicks being good. They're like, there's too much blue and orange in this city, and only one can survive at this point in time. So,
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if come All-Star time, Christy, your team and my team, the record looks the same or swapped, whatever it may be. We're starting what we do. Even though we just got Strider back within the last week, we lost our closer, and that has actually cost us quite a few games. He hadn't lost an appearance or blew a save or anything until he went out, and closing games out has actually been our issue. I'm loving the bats. We didn't really have big bats helping out last year, but I'm loving that for right now. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. I will talk my stuff, but I'm not going to crown anything besides the April championship. I will take that, of course. But, I do have one quick rant as host. I do want to have one quick rant is we also did just put Ronald Acuna on the IL. And if people remember and watch the podcast the past month or so, nothing I respect less than a baseball player that gets hurt baseballing. Francisco Lindor, Ronald Acuna. I mean, at least Lindor, it looked like I think he got at least like midway to second base. Um, Ronald Acuna couldn't even make it to first without like pulling a hammy or calf or whatever it was. It doesn't matter because it's one of those slow and you have to wait and you could easily just hurt it right back again. Unbelievable that all you have to do within a 3-hour period is run a mile and they can't do it. They are not superior athletes. They need to get the Olympic curling team out there to run the bases for them. This is ridiculous.
Do they have more respect than Yoenis Cespedes, who missed a year because he fell off of a horse, riding that horse into training camp? Or since his injury was not baseball related, does he then have more respect? I'm just trying to get a feel for your power scale here, Paul.
I would have to throw Anthony Rendon on there that for some reason, I don't know how you can do this, be like, I'm going to take $120 million of yours. I'm going to tell you my back hurts and you're just going to keep the checks coming. And I'm just going to, and I'm going to tell you, I don't like really playing baseball. I don't want to do it anymore, but a la Steven Strasburg and Ben Simmons, you're going to pay me to do nothing. And I'm just going to say I'm hurt with no medical backing for it at all, and you're just going to deal with it. Like it's unbelievable sometimes.
I might not like the Nationals as someone in the National League East, but I don't think you're allowed to throw Steven Strasburg in the same sentence as Ben Simmons. But
I don't know. He spent like 4 or 5 years at the Fred Nats. It's halfway between here and DC, sitting there making $30 million a year for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, but he's a World Series MVP if I'm not mistaken. So you might get yourself a couple of years if you win. I don't, I mean, obviously, as a Met fan, I don't know when that's happening as well, but I couldn't tell you the next time the Nationals are going to have any legitimate chance at the playoffs, let alone a World Series. So I think Steve Strasburg might get a little bit of a
That's an interesting
pass.
segue. John, how you doing? So let's talk about a team that also has no chance of getting to the World Series in very many years now.
Hey, we're up 2-0 right now, bottom of the 7th against the Athletics. It's only up from here for any Phillies fans, because I mean, all the preseason, all the hype, you know what I mean, coming off a 90 plus win season, and then to show up like they did to start. And do I think Thompson should have got fired? No, I should have been Dombrowski. I think it should have been, the GM for putting the team together. It wasn't Thompson's fault, but I know there's been a lot of Mattingly hate in the Discord, but right now, he has them. What are they, 5-1? I think in the last 6. Right now, they're up 2-0, so they're playing decent baseball. They're putting runs on the board. You know what I mean? So, like I said, anything's up from where they were like 2 weeks ago, and anything is just up. You just be optimistic and hope for the best at this point.
To be clear to anyone that's listening, the only Don Mattingly hate that's going on in the Discord is Ben McNally, who refuses to show his face. So, for the record,
so true.
That's it.
So,
that's very true.
What do you think on the subject, JD? I know you're a Donnie baseball fan.
Okay, so he is currently, if John, if he wins tonight, he's 7-1, and I saw since they brought him in, they're third in ERA, Ks per 9, they're second, innings pitched third. What's FIP again? Is that what does FIP mean again? Patty knows.
I believe it's
in stuff that doesn't help Mike Randler.
It's something to do with like their ability to get batters to put the ball like in play, like
right,
like fielders get the chance at the ball that's in play, something along that line. Like,
so they're first. So I would say, John, I mean, listen, I mean, I know people were upset about it, and I agree with you that it should have been the architect of the team, maybe not the manager per se, but look at, I look at what Torts did with Vegas. Sometimes you need a new voice in the locker room, and maybe,
somebody, just something to change, a little change, something to just, I mean, because obviously they've been doing the same thing for the past 4 or 5 years. So maybe that, it just got complacent and everyone just going through the motions. Maybe having that change in the clubhouse actually lit a little fire under their ass or something.
Right. So, I mean,
Is it
yeah.
is it too early to crown him as a Coach of the Year candidate, JD? What are we doing?
He's all.
I'm telling you, I think it's all a ploy. I think it's all a ploy to get him across the subway, across state there.
I
Listen,
always thought he would take over for Thompson anyways. I mean, I figured when they brought him in, I thought that, I mean, I know they gave him an extension, but I kind of figured he was going to, learn the reins underneath and then eventually end up taking over with his son being in the organization.
Right. Listen, I mean, you have so much talent on that team. You have so much talent that I just feel, and no World Series appearances and, going out the Met and Patty, a couple of years ago, the Mets smoked him in the playoffs, smoked you guys. So,
Yep. I dream about that every time I watch the Mets blow a lead to the Oakland Athletics, Colorado Rockies, Philadelphia Phillies. I think they blew a lead to the Bad News Bears last week.
Savannah Bananas.
I think they got one hit by, I believe they just asked,
Bench
they
warmers.
asked Kevin Costner to come out of retirement with, why am I blanking on the actor from Bull Durham that's the pitcher? I'm blanking, Tim Robbins, right?
Yes,
he came out of retirement and one hit the Mets last week, so good for him.
It's ugly, man. But you won your first series, Patty. Mets won their first series in over a month, right? Over the weekend.
Yeah, I'll celebrate it on my way to the devastating playoff losses for both Celtics, Penguins, the Mets stinking, the Steelers not having a quarterback. And when you guys see me in the Book of Mormon in a few months, you'll know why I don't like sports anymore.
So I thought the Aaron Rodgers thing was supposed to be settled by draft. I thought that was like the word from him, technically.
You want to listen to this guy that's on drugs? He's out here. He literally could come out today and be like, oh, see, the reason that I didn't, tell you about what I was doing is because the ayahuasca troll told me that if I take 5 more doses of the ayahuasca, that I don't have to tell you anything because I'm Aaron Rodgers. Like, he's such a loser.
I think he's taking the good drugs. I think the Steelers organization is taking the bad ones because they're still like bowing down to him and waiting for him. If he calls right now while we're on the pod, they'll be like, yes, please.
I mean, what's your other choice? Drew Aller? I watched Drew Aller lose to the School of the Blind several times in his career.
Sir, they were deaf and they were blind.
No, those were the Sisters of the Blind. That's who Penn State played in volleyball.
Kyle's favorite football team. Oh, he's not here. That's unfortunate. We do miss him, though. We do miss Kyle. He has a good reason for missing. So yes. I don't want a nasty letter from HR now. I can't see the producer's Can't see the producer's reaction though. All I see is a black screen. So,
he heard you. He heard you. His beard was tingling.
JD and I didn't get into it too much. Didn't expand on it too much last week, but we are a little bit removed from it. But I kind of wanted to talk about the NFL draft and how people's thought about their teams. We know how he thinks about the Jets, and I actually was touting the Jets for the next couple of years. I think they may be a popular destination. That's my bold statement. I think a bunch of your teams are absolutely not. So why don't we talk about how the Titans, I don't know, who do you root for? The Giants, Patty, since you live in New York, and then
you're the worst.
And then the Birds. Tell me a good story about that they did something they were supposed to.
Okay, I'll go with my horrible Titans. Let's see. Let's take a wide receiver for my quarterback to throw to that doesn't have a line in front of him to give him any time to actually throw to a receiver. So now we'll kill a number 1 draft pick last year in Cam Ward, and then we'll take out a good wide receiver from. I mean, this was definitely not a position heavy, as far as like skilled position heavy draft whatsoever. This was a big guy draft. This was a lineman draft. And I was like, okay, that's perfect for my team. And then we take a wide receiver in the first round. So yeah, my vote of confidence in my team is right where it's been for the last 3-4 years. And I don't get too excited, and I'll be happy if we win 4 or 5 games. And that's where I'm sitting at. Keep laughing at me, Patty. Keep laughing.
I disagree with you.
You disagree?
I think that they were stuck under Zach Taylor, right? That's who was there. Not Zach Taylor. He's in Cincinnati. Who was Callahan that
Mhm.
was there, right? I think that you will see a different Cam Ward under Brian Dable. I'm not saying that the offensive line will be great, but I am a Brian Dable play caller believer, at least. Maybe not as a head coach, but I think he's an excellent play caller in the NFL. I don't love Carnell Tate. I love Jordan Tyson a little bit more, but I think that the system that they're building around Cam Ward is now there's really, and again, the O-line is a thing, but the excuse of him not having weapons is kind of gone. Like you have A.O. Manor, you have, I'm blanking on the guy, Chimere DK, you have Calvin Ridley coming off injury, and now Carnell Tate with Gunnar Helm probably slotting in at tight end. Like, I think they could be a very dangerous offense. I think that their defense is losing a step, and maybe they should let Jeffrey Simmons come to a contender. And I'm not saying that that's Pittsburgh, but I think they could probably get a lot for him if you saw what Dexter Lawrence just got. And I think that it's not a great pick, but I don't think it's anything you should be upset about.
It's not that I'm upset about it, and I do agree with you, and I understand what they're trying to build around him. I've just been disappointed for so long, and it's just hard to get out of that slump. And that's great if you've got weapons around you, then that's not the excuse anymore. So now, hopefully, like I said, the O-line gives him at least 0.9 seconds to make a decision.
I mean, it was not as bad as what the Cardinals did of taking Jeremiah Love and immediately starting to dig his grave. I don't know how many limbs he's going to lose next year, but he's going to be a shell of his of a man by the time that season is over. Well, I mean, probably by week 5, that's probably all he's going to make it. That's going to be ridiculous. I feel bad for that man. Talk about the luck of the Irish, huh? Could have pulled an Eli Manning right there.
Yeah, I mean, he's making $55 million. I don't think he cares where he is.
So that's what I told JD last week. And I had said the week before that, dude, I think he's the no-brainer pick. Well, that was the dumbest thing I've ever said. And I said some dumb stuff. And I mean, like in the last 2 hours, I've said some dumb stuff.
I mean, talent-wise, he's a no-brainer pick. I agree with you on that end.
But the reason my thing is because of his rookie contract. Little did I realize
that he was $55 million.
Yeah, that the third pick, no matter what you look like, 5'2" and 200 pounds, or 6'9" and 400, it's you still get $50,000 or $50 million. And before even stepping on the field, is oh, you just became the highest paid running back of all time. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hell of a contract. I don't know how his agent worked that out with NFL teams, but good for him, I guess, man.
Well, that was the pay slot too. That was a pay slot.
Yeah, most of it's already there. It's just usually the language.
Right.
And I'm not worried about him going out and being turning into a misfit and then voiding his contract.
Yeah.
It's literally going to go to the estate of his family, though, in 2 years.
Yeah. No, the only thing I'm upset about at the draft is whoever in Dallas's front office thought it was a good idea to go and let their division rival and let Howie Roseman move ahead of the Steelers to get Mekhi Lemon. I don't blame the Eagles one bit for that, but if you're Dallas, what was the thought process that you're going to trade down and then go take this D tackle, which was if you didn't even need to trade down to get that guy. You could have got him whenever you wanted. So I don't know. I just don't understand. I'll never understand trading in your division on draft night. I get it, I guess, if that's what you think needed to be done, and I'm not necessarily upset that we didn't get Mekhi Lemon. I'm just kind of upset that, I'm sure you guys all heard the story that they're on the phone with Mekhi Lemon and, or they're trying to get on the phone with Mekhi Lemon and other people can't reach him because Philly's trying to call him too because they just traded with Dallas, but nobody's told Pittsburgh that they've traded with Dallas. And then there was rumors afterwards. They were was Pittsburgh trying to sabotage Philly into not having enough time to make the pick? And it's what? It was just a whole circus. I like Big Max. I'm happy with that pick. I think they needed offensive line help, but I really would have liked Mekhi Lemon. That would have been a true 3 weapons now with Pittman, DK, and him, adding that to Freiermuth. But Howie just proves again why he's the GM or the executive. I would even say, and maybe this is a little bit crazy to say, I would say that Howie Roseman might be the best GM in all of sports, across all 4 sports. I look at him as the gold standard of a team that's trying to compete now that consistently makes moves to get guys that help them now and help them later. Whether that was Jalen Phillips last year or would they give up a third rounder for what's his face from the Vikings this year, John? Who's the guy from the
Jonathan Greenard or
yeah,
Greenard,
like
Grenard. I don't even know how to say it.
Howie just finds a guy that's like 29 years old that a team doesn't want to pay anymore, and he's like, "Hey, here's our crumbs. You come and be on an elite pass rush." So, you know, that's the only thing that I thought was pretty cool, or that I was a little bit upset about from the draft.
I watched the video. I think it was either today or yesterday, and it was Joe Banner, the guy who used to be the Eagles GM before Howie Roseman, who Howie Roseman learned under, and he was explaining the Eagles system, how they rank players and how they somehow have a system where like they rank all of their picks, like their third round picks, their fifth round, and where they sit. And he's like, he goes, they have a percentage where like if you're picking 20th or 28th, the percentage of you hitting on that player is always the same. It's like 20 some percent. So they think they look at that as like a toss up. Like, all right, from 20th to 28th or 29th, we can move wherever we want, where we have extra. And he'll make those picks, like this year where he'll pick up an extra third round, an extra fourth round. And then next year, everyone forgets about those picks and they're just extra throwaway draft picks that we have. And he can use those as trade bait and use those to move up and make his way. But they apparently, according to Joe Banner, they have like a system that they abide by and they don't like strew away from it at all. Like it's what they do and they stick to it. But I like the Lemon pick. I just think there might be a lot of pressure on him if they do end up trading AJ Brown, which it sounds like they're going to be doing, because I feel like everyone's going to want him to come in and fill that void. And obviously he's going to be a rookie. Not that he can't, but like I said, it's this offense is still yet to see what's going to be. It sounds like if they do trade AJ Brown, it's going to be Devontae is going to get his Devontae Smith, and then they're just going to basically pass the ball to anybody else that's open.
Who's open?
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like. I'm like getting from all of this. So.
Well, doesn't that feel like the frustrating part with Devonta Smith sometimes is that you like have a Heisman Trophy winner and a legitimate wide receiver one? And I'm not saying that that's a bad problem to have him as the wide receiver two, but doesn't that sometimes feel like the frustrating part with Devonta Smith where you're like, well, if we just didn't have to throw to AJ all the time, we could get this guy the rock. Like,
and he's a very quiet guy too. So like, you don't know, like AJ Brown, obviously this last year voiced his opinion, said stuff, and everyone knew where he stood. But like Devontae doesn't say anything in the media. So you're like, is he pissed off that he's not getting like 7-8 catches a game? Is he pissed off that he's not scoring every other game? Like he just goes, I go out there and do my job. I go out there and do my job. So, well, I guess, like I said, it's to be seen yet with this new offensive coordinator. It'll be interesting.
But John, I was going to say I like Stowers, but I don't think he's a great blocker. But he's a great he caught everything at Vanderbilt, and and the kid Bernard that they got from Nigeria. I'm
that guy
is
very intriguing. Very intriguing. Yeah, he said he never played before, but he just looks like he's a house. Like he's a house. It's just solid muscle.
Yeah, we mentioned it last week. You took some guy who's never touched a football before, but yet Diego Pavia, the Heisman finalist, goes undrafted.
Did you see that video of him taking snaps at Ravens minicamp?
I think it looks terrible.
Video?
How do you look?
Looks terrible.
He looks like his head is at the center's left butt cheek. That's literally how big he looks out there. Is like he was taking snaps from the shotgun, and it looked like the Keebler elf was getting snaps back there, dude. It was bad. Oof. It was not good.
No, he looks like he's 5'9".
He looks like he might be well shorter than that. Like people were complaining that Kyler was short coming out. Like Diego, I didn't mind the kid. The only time he ever rubbed me wrong was when he went to the Heisman or after the Heisman ceremony. He was like, when he went to that club and was like, the Fernando didn't deserve it or whatever he put up. It's like, Mendoza didn't have a stellar year, but it's not like you blew him out of the water playing for Vanderbilt, pal. Like,
and via the TO principle, you will not win.
Yeah.
We will not give you a trophy of any kind or an accolade.
What up, everybody? The Beard is here. Hey, I want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, the law offices of William P. Harrington. Credit card litigation, Chapter 7 bankruptcy, estate planning, estate administration, guardianships, they do it all. As a member, listener, follower, supporter of our network, they are offering you a 15% discount on these services. So if you are in the Pennsylvania or New Jersey area, schedule your free consultation today.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening. Just a few quick reminders for everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Michael Jordan is the GOAT. And check out our fellow podcaster, Jim Montgomery, with This Day in Philly Sports History. Thank you.
So, Christy, we did finally have a little F1 this weekend. From what
We
I understand,
did.
it was on Apple TV. Is that correct?
All F1 is on Apple TV. And look, I saw last night on Netflix, though, I think Netflix is also going to show the Canadian Grand Prix for some reason. I thought that was a little weird, but I mean, I have Apple TV specifically for F1 because it's
I
supposed
mean,
to
if you want to share one of the logins from your bar, I would appreciate that, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to watch an F1 race. I don't have Apple TV, but I would like to hear about the Miami race. I know that JD thought it was intriguing as well, and I always think it's fun down there. I love like the boats and the fake water that they have around the track and all that kind of stuff. Like, and I mean, to me, it looks like Monaco. There are
Yeah, I mean, Monaco's obviously
so
the
many big boats out there.
Mhm.
Those when you're like, wow, that guy is a freaking millionaire, and then you look over and we're like, and that is a billionaire.
Yeah, and that and
thing,
Miami and Monaco are definitely the two where you get the name drops
The
at the
Ritzies.
races. Everybody is there. Yeah, there's Miami's nice because you get two races. You get the sprint race and you get the full Grand Prix. So you get a race on Saturday and a race on Sunday. They only run one practice, whereas normally they do 3 free practices, but instead they just do one practice. Then you do a sprint quali, then you do a sprint race, and you do the Grand Prix quali and then the Grand Prix race. So yeah, it was fun. A lot of upgrades were brought with the 5-week hiatus. Mercedes didn't bring any upgrades. Ferrari brought a lot. McLaren brought some. A couple of the other teams. Lewis took 6th in the Grand Prix, so I'm not mad about that. Max unfortunately looks good again.
I was just about to say, I was like, I'd like for you to tell me about how awesome again that Kimi Antonelli is.
Oh no,
but
Kimmy.
But
Jesus,
before
Kimmy,
that, I wanted to
kid.
tell you that Max Verstappen appears that they're starting to figure it out, as he is still listed as the #1 actual driver, ability wise.
Oh, I was like, he's not the #1 driver.
No, not in the standings.
God, no.
But you give him a car that is equal, and he'll be right up there with anybody.
Yeah.
He looked pretty good. Obviously, barely missed the pole.
Yes.
Yeah,
that was a little shocking for me. It's been so nice not having him so close up there, because you guys know I do not like him. I'm not a fan of him. Talk about punchable faces. That's Max Verstappen for me, is super punchable face. But yeah, no, Miami's always fun race. We thought we were going to get some rain and have some fun in Miami on Sunday, but it was just off the side of the course, so it stayed dry and it was fun. It was fun. Charles got a penalty, which is why Lewis got to move up. So, and yeah, Kimmy won again. Kimmy's that kid's on fire, and I think it's pissing off George Russell, which is kind of funny to see somebody who looks like a Disney prince get angry.
That's why I like keeping JD around.
Thank you, Patty. Same here.
Looks like
The
every one of
feeling's
the
mutual.
princes from Shrek all in one.
Paul, we do have to have a talk real quick that I don't know if anyone else feels this way. Maybe you don't. But since this is the all members no longer talking about sports pod, Apple TV might have the best original shows in the game. Like, as far as original TV goes. Like, Ted Lasso is a top 5 show of all time for me. And then there's a lot of other good shows like Shrinking the Monarch Show, so on and so forth. So
there's that Neighbors
Paul,
phenomenal.
I recommend Apple TV through the roof. And Apple, if you want to support us, you can't, because
I
I
would,
can't see Steve's face and get a read on him. So to
yeah,
be
I would
decided.
appreciate it as well. I've seen all of those shows. I've seen every Ted Lasso. I've seen the first season of Severance. I want to see the second one. I have downloaded, legally or not, all of the Shrinking.
Oh, the morning
No,
show. That's another good one.
yes, I watched that as well, until my free thing cut out and I had to go back to work and actually make a living. Um, but yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, it's not just like Netflix
Yeah,
makes the
yeah.
greatest. Not at all anymore.
It's a good one. It's a good Clash and Draft topic for the summer.
Oh, does that mean, is this a precursor to you taking over? Is this
No,
you
I
gonna?
don't want to host. You're going to host, but we're going to call it Clash and Paul Drafts.
Well, then somebody's going to need to get a real GoFundMe for my lame or gained. I need to find something that's lame.
I do
I mean,
love that. I do love Lame
there's too
Brigade.
many of you. I can't like point one of you out and be
Oh,
like,
I have
hey,
something
get
that's
something
lame.
for
Give me
your
two.
teams.
Give me 1 minute. I have something that's lame. You keep talking about something else. I'll come right back.
Every T-shirt you wear is lame.
I know I put in the chat, but I don't want to change things. That kid from high school kid, they're giving 2 years, 4.8 million.
Oh my God.
No,
You saw that?
That's fake news. I don't. That's not real.
Oh, it isn't?
From Duke?
Sure?
You talking about Duke?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fake. You can't do that.
But he's got 2 years left of high school left.
I know, but it's that's fake. That's not happening. But what is happening, that's an absolute crime having to do with Duke, is Amazon is sponsoring 3 of their games, and they're getting a bajillion dollars that they're using to pay more players. So they have 3 like highly ranked games next year that are going to be all on neutral sites. That is going to be on Amazon Prime now, specifically a contract with Duke. It's unbelievable. So I wouldn't be surprised if the number ever comes out, because they're going to be able to run a platoon system this year if they wanted to. They have 2 starting fives that they've paid for this year. And I would say that it's north of 40 million that they've paid. And I think this Amazon contract is going to fund a lot of it, because they said it's going into the a lot of proceeds are going to the NIL.
All right, Paul, you want to talk about draft busts? Here's my lame. Ready? So I have a bunch of helmets, like a signed Steelers memorabilia. Nice little white, alternate Steelers. Boom! Chase Claypool right there. Run up the lame. There it is. That's why it's in the box and not on the shelf.
Gracious,
Patty-
why you need to scratch that off and let JD sign his name? It would be worth twice as much.
Patty, what he was in a rookie minicamp this weekend. Where was he this weekend?
I
Chase
don't
Claypool
know.
was-
Probably Toronto, Canada.
No,
playing
he
hockey or
was.
something.
No, he was. And I said, oh my God, Chase Claypool. He was somewhere this weekend.
He's just somebody that, like, I have always had a soft spot for. As a Notre Dame fan, he's a Notre Dame grad. But, like, he was a freak coming out. 6'4", ran like a 4.5-ish 40. And, but then he, got addicted to TikTok and could never recover. And the Steelers are trying to win a game, and he's doing like this at midfield. He's like,
yeah, he got addicted
like,
to
buddy,
TikTok.
put the ball down.
Yeah.
We're trying to advance the first down. Please, sir, I beg you, put the ball down.
No, he Packers this weekend. They didn't offer him a contract. They don't offer a contract.
Yeah, so there's my lame, Paul.
Awesome. It was no, that's not even lame. I wouldn't say it's lame. That's like shameful that you haven't scratched that off or rubbed Mr. Hanky on that.
I have 3 in the box. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 out of the box, and then I have 3 in the box. The 3 in the box are Claypool, James Conner, and Devin Bush. What a bum he turned out to be.
What was let's see, I have one like that at one point, because I'm Russell Wilson went to, like, you can see right there is a Russell Wilson Seattle mini helmet, because he's from Richmond here and he went to high school around here. He was in his older brother was in my little brother's wedding, so like we've met, not me personally, but like they have.
Yeah.
So I had an affinity for him. now he does need to kind of go into an Aaron Rodgers size hole in the mountains and kind of go away there. But gosh, who was it? I got in the deal for that. I got this other Redskins helmet. Who was it? I can't even remember who the guy is. Running back from LSU ended up getting arrested and
Darius
going.
Geis.
Darius Geis arrested for raping like an 80-year-old woman. I was like, "What are you doing, dude?" Like all you had to do is hold it together for like 3 years, and you can go all kinds of
Kellen Winslow
whatever
Jr.
you want to do. Whatever
Kellen
you
Winslow
want to do.
Jr. too. Yeah, same thing with Kellen Winslow Jr. Yeah, same thing. Older ladies.
But I was like, so that
Jesus.
one's up in a cabinet that just kind of sits there. But
There's your man Russ at the Met Gala last night.
yeah, I saw that. He was talking about his next business venture. So don't be
Yeah, Paul,
surprised.
the
Don't be
collection's
surprised if
getting
he's not an
so
analyst.
the collection's getting so old that I just have to have like ones up there that are like cool helmets with bad signatures. Like I don't consider this a bad signature, but I have like a full white one that has Deontay Johnson on it. I'm like, huh. I don't really have anything else to put up there at this point, so I guess you get to stay. Oh, and
You
there's
could turn all the-
there's Juju Smith-Schuster over there,
Good
and
Lord.
then I'll go to T.J. Watt, Micah Fitzpatrick, Juju Smith-Schuster, and then the legend section: Heinz Ward, Troy Polamalu, Ben Roethlisberger.
Ooh, I had a nice Heinz Ward you would have liked. It was a Gotham Rogues from
I've seen those; they're nice.
the Batman movie. But I mean,
I love that. No, I was
ahead.
gonna say I love that argument that it's a joke that I don't know if you've ever seen online where it's like Hall of Fame season will come around and like some people believe the Heinz Ward should be a Hall of Famer, some people don't. Obviously, like I would love if he is as a Steeler fan, but it'd be like Heinz Ward deserves to get in the Hall of Fame simply on the fact that he outran Bane. You're like, you know how fast you have to run to outrun an exploding stadium from underneath your feet and return it for 6 points.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty great. I guess I had to dip out for a minute because my son, who came back from college, accidentally connected to the Bluetooth on this thing like 15 minutes ago. So I had to get out. So I don't have a clue how long we've been going. Could have been 32 minutes, could have been 54. I have no idea.
36.
Okay. Time is not going by as fast as I thought it did. All right. Well, we can hold off a bit here. Well, let's talk about some NBA then. A couple of things that we didn't talk about at the NBA podcast. One is I want to talk about the new lottery situation, as well as what is in my notes here? What did we write? Oh, the other was college basketball. So the new lottery system. At first hearing it, I didn't have a clue what was going on. Johnny has 5 apples. None of it makes sense. It does make sense to me now. A lot of people are very upset about it. Some are very happy with it. I think it's cool. So if you're a top 3 team, or excuse me, a bottom 3 team, you get, I think it is 2 balls in the little thing. If you're 4 through 11, you get 3 balls. And then again, if you're 12 through 15 or whatever, you get 2 balls again. So you can't suck but so much. You're not allowed to suck but so much. So, I mean, I think it should do what it's supposed to. Again, I mean, it was pretty pathetic. The second to last day, it was a Friday before the Sunday of basketball, when there were 168 players that were out for injury or illness. Probably 82% of those completely not valid. So, I mean, I think it's going to make teams like the Jazz and the Wizards and some other people try and not actually suck. Problem is, I think that they're going to do a good job of that on their own, and that may come out as well. Also, you can't, like, there's a bunch of picks. There's like the Spurs and the Thunder would not look like the Spurs and the Thunder if this was already implemented. Even with the worst picks, you still can't pick like in the top 3 like more than twice in a row and some other stuff.
So I thought that was the interesting part to me, Paul, was like they went through some teams that would not exist, like quote unquote exist with the new rules, saying that the Spurs would not have been able to draft Dylan Harper this year because it would have been their 3rd pick, like inside the top 5 in 3 years. Like you're not allowed to pick 3 times in the top 5 in 3 years. And I think that's a really good idea on paper. But like, okay, somebody like the Spurs, for instance, last year, they probably don't finish bottom 5 if Victor Wembanyama doesn't have DVT. like him getting DVT is really the only reason that they finished bottom 5. So now, like, obviously this is looking in hindsight, but in hindsight, now you're going to punish them because their best player was hurt, that now they don't get a top 5 pick because of these anti-tanking rules. Like, yes, it's going to be good for some teams, but what's also going to happen is there's just some teams, and again, I'm not saying that this is the way it should be. Like, Paul, you and I talked about this last week, like the Wizards or whoever, like that are just really like perennial gutter rats. And like what's going to happen one year is they're going to have a 3rd pick inside the top 5 and they're not going to get it. And the 8th team in the lottery is going to, jump up, and that's going to be a team that's 1 or 2 pieces away from a deep playoff run. And then they go get a top 3 pick because of these rules, where the team that really needed three top 5 picks in a row doesn't. So I think on paper it's something that looks good, but I just want to see it play out before we, obviously say whether it works or not works.
What do you all think about the PWHL and the women's hockey? So after the teams that were out of the playoff run, they started keeping their stats after to see you got points for winning as opposed to, and it helped your playoff position. Do you like that idea, or that's too much? You think
your draft position, you're saying,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, to help your draft position, like win instead of tanking. What do you all think about that? Or is that just crazy? That's a little too crazy.
I don't think it's crazy. I don't hate it, but
I mean, I think every league wants every game to matter. They want it for the fans. Even on the crappiest teams, there's a bunch of people that are coming to see one specific player or a group of players. And if they're not playing for really no legitimate reason, it's a black eye, and it's just a matter of how black that eye gets before people, turn on it. Kind of like, if baseball were to, have a lockout again, good luck getting back ever. I think that's a black eye you couldn't get back from. And I think that's what they're trying to preserve. And it's true. None of that crap happened in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. People were doing everything they could to. What do you think, JD? That was your heyday when you were like in middle school in the 70s.
I thought they did it. Well, once they added free agency, they did have problems. I mean, I still remember the strike in, was it 81? I mean, I remember as a kid, like there was no baseball. There was nothing. I mean, and they broke the season in half. I feel like hockey's after 94, they destroyed hockey. I thought they'd never come back from that. And yeah, I don't know, man. So you think if baseball, Paul, you think baseball has a strike now, they're done? If they have a strike next season?
Yeah, we've talked about that. I think that's hard. I think that's going to be one that's really hard to bounce back from right now. I mean, we've talked about that for the last couple months. Like, I just think a strike in baseball right now, they did everything that they've done to try to make baseball more appealing to people who are like, that's too slow, the games are too long, with the pitch clock and with ABS and everything else. And I feel like ABS has, in my opinion, I love ABS right now. Like, it's been so fun to watch how good these catchers are. And then even like some of the guys in the box, like when they're in the batter's box and they're like, well, I know that that's my strike. So like, it's fun to watch that. And I feel like it's kind of
everybody except for Jazz Chisholm.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Paul, you beat me to it. That's the only guy
who can't even like get it right. If he's like, if he doesn't even know if he bats right or left. Like, he is so bad.
He's terrible at it. He's terrible at it.
Moron.
But I just feel like they've done such an uptick in getting people on board that if you were to strike right now, it would be hard to bounce back from. I mean, another one would be super hard to bounce back from, in my opinion.
Paul, I think I was going to say, I think the problem with what you're saying, and not what you're saying, I'm saying, I think the problem that you're talking about, the hard part is like, there's no longer, and this isn't just basketball, baseball's getting close, but with football, hockey, and basketball especially, there's no longer like, hey, let's go check out a game and do this, because to see those premier players play, it's hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to take a family of 4. And exactly what you talk about, like, hey, I'm going to spend $1,000 for my family to go see, the Lakers play, and they don't have, and LeBron's taking them load management day, and Reeves has a little tweak. So now I got to see them play, and Luka's, whatever. Like, but you don't know that months in advance. That's the hard part with the NBA right now, with the game that we're in and the game that, that the league itself has created with being the players league that it is. And I think there's a lot of positives to that, but I just don't know, like it's exponentially amplified by what the price of tickets and going to a sports stadium has made it that much more of a problem. If tickets were still, and again, I use baseball as an example, like at least baseball, I could go if I wanted to go to the Mets game next week, and I know the Mets suck, so I'll pick the Yankees. Even if I want to go to a Yankee game next week, I could probably find a ticket like on game day from somewhere to like $30 to $50 in the upper seats, and still, that doesn't include concessions or whatever like that. Like you go to an NBA game, my wife and I went to Celtics Hornets to finish the year last year. We did not see a single starter play. Like it was the last day of the season. She didn't know that when she bought the tickets. The tickets were like $210 a pop to sit in the fifth to last row. Like that to me is the big issue more than the load management of the guys, is that it's just not an affordable thing to do to go to a lot of sports games anymore. Like I paid in 2017, I went to see Steelers Patriots in Gillette Stadium for the AFC Championship. I paid $400, and that sounds like, oh well, that's a lot. Like to go to the AFC Championship now is probably like, for the same seats that I had in 2017, is probably like $800 to $900 depending on where it is. Like it's
I did a Mariners Brewers game it's Miller Park to me, but I always sit right behind the Mariners dugout. Same seats. They were $47 10 years ago. They're $187 this year.
Really?
Yeah,
187?
for a day game.
Oh my God! In Milwaukee.
In
Wow.
Milwaukee. Because it's the Mariners. Because it's the Mariners. You go to a different team, and it's almost sold out behind the Mariners side, better than it is on the Brewers.
Yeah, you can like
Milwaukee.
the only like team that we'll drive to go see for like NBA is the Wizards. So you go see who you want to playing the Wizards.
Right.
So like if you pick somebody like you want to see LeBron, you want to see the Lakers play, that is a premium ticket, and it's like a minimum of 180 just to breach the doorway.
Yeah. I went to Washington, I think right when I started podcasting with you guys, like right when I joined the network. I went to see Steelers Commanders sorry, Paul, you can say it if you want, but I went to go see them play in Washington. We bought those tickets in May for $300 a pop, which is like a lot, but game day of we could have sold our seats for $850. Like that was the year that Russ was leading the Steelers, and they were, 7-2, and it was Jaden Daniels' rookie year. Like $800 for third level seats in week 7 of the NFL regular season. Like, and again, it does and I don't want to get too much into it, but like it's almost become elitist to be able to go to multiple sporting events in 1 year with the amount of money that it costs.
We talk about
I completely agree. We're going to have to start passing Randy around so that we can use his Make-A-Wish benefits to get tickets to see some of these players and things. We'll do a lottery here. We'll get Steve to do a wheel to see who
that
gets
doesn't land on turnovers.
Yeah, to see who gets to take Randy to a sporting event. All you have to do is hold the Drool Cup. All right. Well, I think that's probably where we probably should end that for the most part before I get us canceled here. But we do have one last thing.
Like the sponsors, Paul? Like the sponsors?
Do we have those? Do we have any of those? I'll start with Lotwin. One of my favorite sponsors, I would say. Custom hype chains make our awards and trophies for all the podcasts. A couple of people have made their own for their teams. Most of their teams suck, so they're not really. They just kind of sit on on their door handles in their rooms, but they still look cool. Lotwin, go to their website, 10% off. You enter in the code TCCPOD. I think we got some other sponsors. Let's see if we can do a round robin. Anybody want to take one?
I'll go for it.
Go for it, Christy.
Go, Patty.
I was going to get our partners. I was going to say we have a few partners, and Christy can finish off our sponsors. Our partners are This Day in Philly Sports with Jim Montgomery, doing some awesome things in the Philly sports community. You could check him out. I'll do my best Steve voice, as you could check him out on Positivity Tuesdays every Tuesday, where he does. So, shout out to you, Jim. You really do some awesome content. It is great. And JD is now a partner of ours. So if you join our network, you can also have the opportunity to go on his show and talk about something that you love. I know this week he had Dale Bliss, who's one of his very good friends when it comes to Oregon football, hop on and talk about all things Rayola and this and that. So, those are our partners. And Chrissy, why don't you finish off our sponsors?
You can go see our girl Lean if you're in the Lancaster area at Sparrow Hair Studio. Get your hairs cut, looking good, as I like to say, right and tight and clean. Go see Lean. Let her know you're part of the Clashing Conferences podcast family, and you will get a discount.
JD, you want to add anything about your podcast? I did meant to ask how it went with. I was only going to name him the Oregon guy. I know we talked a little Oregon football before we hopped off yesterday, but how was that? Tell me about that.
So he is excited about the season. They have a huge game at the Dump, Ohio State next season. The problem is that Christie will deal with her tight ends. You're bringing in 3 new offensive linemen on that line, which concerns them. They have a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. A lot of guys back on the defense. I guess it's just going to see what happens. I mean, I think they're still the cream of the Big Ten. I think it's them and Ohio State, and I think Penn State's going to take a drop. So we're excited. A lot of home games. They play Illinois on the road. They have a tough game at USC, but we know the Lincoln Riley sucks. So we'll see what happens there. So also, I'm trying to get on. I just found him on Facebook, Rick Valenti. I don't know if you ever watched back in the day, ESPN Body Shaping. There used to be a show on in the morning in Hawaii. It was a bodybuilding. This guy worked out in the morning. It was him and some hot.
No, it's Kiana.
Yes,
Kiana Tom.
Yeah. So I'm like, dude, you got to come on. I go, I know you have stories. And so I reached out to him, and then I'm following Inside Georgia Recruiting. I found a kid named Big Cy Williams. This kid's 16. He's class of 2028. So the kid's a sophomore. He's already 6'7", 275 as a 16-year-old, playing left and right tackle. Yeah, 6'7". But these kids are enormous. So I'm reaching out to people. I'm trying to get people on. It's just, they said they want to come on, and then it's getting them on. But we're trying. It's a journey. That's all I got.
That sounds awesome. I don't know how to feel about this. That's very, 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 very ironic that yesterday, just in my Facebook reels, I don't really do much else on social media, just scrolling through the reels. Kiana Tom came up on my Facebook reels from that show.
It's a sign.
Just randomly, I was like, what in the world? And I was like, oh my gosh, I remember. And of course, she's still doing videos at like 67 years old or whatever she is.
God bless her.
But I was like, oh, okay. I guess I do remember that on ESPN.
I don't want to start a brand new conversation, but to table to next week. I want everyone to think of one athlete they would like to see on a current iteration of Pros versus Joes if they were to bring that back, which was one of my favorite sports shows of all time.
Wait, so an active player.
Yes.
Does it have to be active?
No, because it could be like, I remember Jerry Rice was on that show and he was like either retired or almost retired.
Mine will be dead. My player's dead.
Who was the former Steeler?
I don't think your player could be dead.
What was his name? Kevin. Who was the guy who died of cancer a couple of years ago? Who was a Steeler for a while, Ram for a while, defensive lineman?
Ryan
Kevin
Shazier.
No,
Kevin. He is not dead.
Not Ryan.
I know
Shazier.
He's not dead. I know he's talking about.
He just said he died of cancer 2 years ago, and you go Ryan Shazier.
Was it Kevin Green? Was that his name?
Yes, Kevin Green.
Kevin Green hit a guy, and the guy goes, "I'm done." He hit him. He goes, "I'm done." Took his helmet off, walked off. He goes, "That's it." That was the best.
My favorite one is, you ever see the clip of, if you haven't, go look it up right after the show if you're listening, of Bill Romanowski, where the guy runs out to like go run against Bill Romanowski, and then he runs back into the entrance, and Bill Romanowski like turns around to the camera and he's like, "What's happening?" And then the guy comes out of the other side of the entrance and runs for a touchdown, and Bill Romanowski starts roid raging, he starts taking his helmet off, all pissed off, like.
Well, I can just tell you that my person, yes, they will be deceased, but you will like who I pick.
Okay, I'm excited.
Speaking of something that I picked, this is this week's iteration of Lame or Game. obviously people have seen that I like a lot of kind of like movie memorabilia that kind of gets meshed with sports. Who do you think is to blame for Dan Marino never winning a Super Bowl? Does
Ace
anybody?
Ventura.
What?
Laces out, Dan.
That would be none other than Ray
Ray
Finkle. So I got Sean Young, the female that plays
Yes.
Ray Finkle,
Laces
on
out.
That's good.
a
Paul.
Miami Dolphins jersey.
100% gain. That's amazing.
Yeah, I thought that was. Yeah, when I saw that was something that was available, I hunted it down for the price I was willing to pay, and here we are, ladies and gentlemen. But I think that'll probably have to do it today, because otherwise Steve's going to be editing this until next Tuesday. So let's go ahead, and I think this has been a great episode. A lot of good conversation. I don't think much is going to get edited out. I'm not going to say anything about planes, trains, automobiles, or anything else that crashes or smashes. So let's go out here on a high. And I hope the Braves are still on top next week, and the rest of your teams continue to suck, except you, JD.
Go M.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with all of you.
And also with you. Thanks be to God.
See y'all later. Hit the button.